Fortune.com says that 1,700 people are becoming millionaires every single day, and that's in the United States alone. And every day that you keep procrastinating on this is a day that you keep falling behind. So what is your excuse? But before you become a millionaire, you actually have to make your first $10,000 a month, which is why in this video, I'm going to be going over the top 9 ways to get to your first $10,000 a month. Now, if this is the first time that we met, you might be wondering, well, what qualifies this Asian guy to tell me how to make $10,000 a month? Well, for context, 4 years ago, I was $120,000 in student debt at UCLA, studying biology. I was pre-med. And over the last 4 years, I have gone on to scale my consulting and coaching company to $15 million in sales by the age of 24. But more importantly than money, it's what money can do that actually matters. Like, I've been able to give over $100,000 to not only my church, but also funding charities like anti-human trafficking. And personally for me, I bought my dream car, $320,000 paid in full cash, Lamborghini Huracan, and I moved to my dream $5 million mansion in Puerto Rico with my lovely wife, all done before the age of 24. So yes, I think that I am qualified to teach you how to get to $10,000 a month. Now, out of these 9 different ways, the first 6 are going to be what I call entrepreneurial opportunities, which is where you start your own business. And then the latter 3 are actually going to be intrapreneur opportunities, which is where you work as an entrepreneur within a company. If you're a complete beginner, you might want to stick around to the end of the video because these are highly lucrative opportunities and you don't even have to take on the risk of starting a business yourself. Now, the first opportunity is dropshipping. Now, dropshipping is very popular, and just to give you the 20-second summary of it, really all it is you sell a product by creating an online store. You find the hottest viral-winning product that is selling well right now, and you start selling on your website. Now, when a customer actually buys that, you then go to a third-party supplier like Alibaba or AliExpress. You purchase the product directly from them and then you ship it directly to the customer. Now, there's a couple core skills that you need to learn. The first skill is you have to understand how to actually find a good product, because at the end of the day, all of the success rests on if the product is good enough. However, after you learn how to select the product, you actually have to learn how to create good advertisements, like doing graphic design, video editing, so that your ad, when you put on Facebook, is actually going to get good views and send people to your website. And the third one is you need a website to sell. So understanding how to use a software like Shopify dropshipping is very good. Keep in mind, while this can be a very lucrative opportunity, it is highly saturated. In fact, when I was a student at UCLA, I got started dropshipping, and this was 2019, 2020, and I spent the first 3 months of my dropshipping career just trying to find my viral product. In fact, it was so hard and I had no money to spend on Facebook ads, which, by the way, you need to spend $1,500 a month, about $50 a day in order to get this right. What I did was I would charge Lime scooters. If you've seen those scooters going around in different cities like Los Angeles or San Francisco, I would charge those scooters in order to make my $50 a day, and I would take that money and I would put it in the ad spend. Keeping in mind that dropshipping is typically 20% profit margins. If you make $10,000 a month, you're actually only taking home $2,000 a month after factoring in ad expense as well as product costs. Now, before I move into the second opportunity, I did want to let you know that I'm trying to keep this video as concise as possible, but I filmed a very in-depth, extremely valuable video where I break down the 5 most popular business models out there right now, hottest ones, and what is the best business model for you if you're a complete beginner. And then I go through something extremely unique called the Opportunity Codex, which is a diagram that actually lists out the pros and cons of all these business models. And depending on if you have a lot of experience or you're just getting started as a beginner, which business model is actually the perfect one for you. I'll leave that video as the first link in the description. Once you're done with this video, I highly recommend you go ahead and give that a watch. Now, the next opportunity is starting an agency. Now, agency services can be more traditional, like running Facebook ads or Google ads for a business. However, they can also be more unique. Like, for example, you have an agency where you only edit YouTube videos or you only edit thumbnails for certain influencers. The bottom line here is you are trading your time as a service provider, charging a monthly retainer anywhere from $1,000 a month to $3,000 a month. And if you get really good and you can add a lot of value, even $5,000 a month plus these businesses. And the powerful effect about this, it is a recurring business model. So once you land a client in month 1, given that you continue to provide a really good service to that client, you're going to be able to continue to build that client month over month, making the lifetime value over the customer over months and years, if you're able to retain that customer, extremely lucrative. A downside of this model is your clients typically are going to have very high expectations, and any single time something doesn't go right, they don't feel like they're getting results, who is the person they're going to talk to? They're going to hit you up. So just keep in mind, you are going to be on the hook quite a bit for getting clients results. Now, this third opportunity is going to be very good for you if you like just doing sales and marketing and you don't really want to think about filling for clients. And it's called affiliate marketing. And all affiliate marketing is if you see a lot of companies out there, they all promote their product by having other people promote it for them. And what happens is if people leave a affiliate link, for example, there's a lot of YouTubers that leave an affiliate link in the first thing in the description. When people click and buy through that affiliate link, the influencer that promotes that affiliate link ends up getting a percentage of the sale. And if it's a really good affiliate offer, for example, softwares are typically monthly recurring, you are able to get a percentage of that deal recurring. For example, ClickFunnels, which is software that I personally use, has a really good affiliate offer where every single time I promote, I believe it's between 20 to 30% of the recurring ends up going over to the person who promoted the product. And so if you use my affiliate link and let's say you pay $100 a month to use it, if I get a 20% of that indefinitely, then I'm essentially making $20 a month over month, as long as you continue to be a client of ClickFunnels. Now you can imagine this on a large scale, that what if I have a YouTube channel, for example, where I promote only affiliate links, and all of a sudden now I'm stacking up all this recurring revenue just because people are using my affiliate link. The downside to doing affiliate marketing is if you don't have a large audience. For example, for myself, I have over 500,000 followers across my Instagram, my YouTube. I have a 40,000 person email list. It's going to be quite difficult if you don't have a big following, so just keep that in mind. The next business model is pretty interesting because it's on the platform that we're watching right now, and it's called starting a YouTube cash cow business, otherwise known as YouTube automation. For example, have you ever seen those YouTube videos that don't actually have influencers? They're kind of just centered around a particular interest or topic. For example, you might have come across a video that's just like basketball highlight reels, or a video that just talks about golf. And there's no actual face behind the channel. It's just simply a compilation of all these videos. Well, it turns out that there's creators that make these YouTube channels because YouTube pays a certain dollar amount for every 1,000 views that a channel gets. Your RPM, which is essentially your revenue per 1,000 views, is $10, and you get a YouTube video that gets 100,000 views. Well, in that situation, you would make $1,000 just from that video. Did I do that math right? 100 times 10 equals 1,000. I think so. So it turns out there's a whole bunch of people that go out and find raw video stock footage and compile them all into a YouTube video. And YouTube likes to reward the owner of the YouTube channel for the viewership it gets, as well as YouTube gets to show advertisements to these people. And so therefore the creator gets paid. Keep in mind the downside to this opportunity is there is quite a lot of project management involved. You have to manage a video editor, you have to manage the person who does the voiceover, as well as people who do content research, creating thumbnails, all these different things. So if you don't like managing a team and you don't want to run meetings where you have to project manage individuals, you might want to steer away from this. Opportunity number 5 is pretty interesting, and I personally had the privilege to do this when I was in university as well. And it's starting an ATM business. Now, if you're not familiar with this business model, if you've ever walked into a cash-only business, for example, a marijuana dispensary, a barbershop, or maybe a cash-only restaurant, you might have seen there's a small ATM sitting in the corner. And it's not an ATM of a bank. It's kind of just a privately owned ATM. And if you've ever stuck in your debit card or credit card and tried to cash from it, typically it will charge you a $2, $3, $4 transaction fee. It turns out that ATM is actually owned by someone. Normally it's the restaurant owner, but a lot of times it's actually individual business owners that have negotiated with, let's say, the owner of that restaurant and installed the ATM inside that business. And if you think about the business model, every single time someone swipes the card and uses the ATM, if you get paid a $3 transaction fee, well, if 10 people use the ATM over the course of a business day in that local restaurant, then 10 times 3 is $30 that you made in that one day. If you multiply that by 30 days in 1 month, then all of a sudden now you've made over $900 from that one ATM. All of a sudden that machine, given that it's in a location with good foot traffic and so people are actually using it, could make you anywhere from $500 to $1,000 a month. Now, if you imagine you have 10 or 20 or 50 of these ATM machines, all of a sudden now you have all this recurring revenue from these little $2, $3 transactions that are happening. Now, the big downside of this is actually twofold. Number one, you actually need money to be able to buy the machine, as well as put in your own money into the machine so that people can withdraw cash. But then secondly, there's also a safety risk involved as well. In fact, the reason why I stopped this business is because in 2019, as you see here, my ATM machine actually got robbed and I lost over $3,000 in the venture. Nevertheless, it is a business model, risk at your own will. You can make money, but there is risk involved because you're handling cash. Opportunity number 6 is going to be starting a coaching business. And I have a particular preference for this one because this is what my company currently does. I own 2 coaching companies. The first one is a B2B division where we work with online business owners and we actually consult for them and helping them scale their online businesses. And we typically help them by consulting them on IG shoutouts and organic marketing, which are just 2 ways to actually help businesses grow. If you don't understand what that means, that's totally fine. The second consulting business that I have is actually called the Setter Certification Program, which is where we educate beginners on how to make their first $5,000 to $7,000 a month as remote setters, which is a highly lucrative opportunity as well. And that's separate university. university. And collectively, the way that I've been able to make my $15 million in sales is actually through this method. Now, I will say with both of my education businesses, they're highly technical. You could start an online education business really on any skill set as long as it adds value. For example, when I was in university, I was very, very productive and I got very good grades at UCLA because of it. And so when I was 21, my first year at university, I actually launched a coaching program on productivity, specifically helping university students get better grades and have more time through some productivity strategies. And fun fact, I made my first $500,000 coming out of university teaching this exact thing. If you don't know, Forbes calls this the $300 billion online education industry, which is where people are wanting to learn more and more things online, which is why more and more people are buying online courses, education. Even universities are moving 100% online right now. For example, I have a client right now that does over $100,000 a month just teaching guys how to quit pornography because he figured out how to quit porn. I have another student, Nikki, that actually does $300,000 a month teaching hairdressers and hair colorists how they can improve their own practices. Really, if you have a skill set that you feel you can help others with, you can teach it and sell it for a profit. Now, the next three opportunities, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, are what I call entrepreneurship opportunities. And these are highly attractive, especially if you are a beginner and you don't want to take on the risk of building a business, showing your face and being an influencer, because you are doing something extremely entrepreneurial, but you are doing so inside of a business. Now, the first one, opportunity 7, is called becoming a copywriter. Now, any single time you go on a social media like Instagram and you see all the posts that are written by online influencers, that's what is called copy. And I don't know if you know this, but most of the copy is not actually written by the influencer. Typically, they will hire someone called a copywriter who will write the words on their social media posts. They will write the emails that go out to you. They will write all the words on the ads, the scripts of what people are even saying on videos. That's all copywriting. And so if you want to make decent money, but you don't really want to be the face of your brand, you can actually partner up with the business that's already running and you can charge them $1,000, $3,000, $5,000 a month to simply write the copy for them on a particular platform. If you're a little introverted like myself and you don't really like talking all the time, but you love writing, this is definitely for you. The next entrepreneurship opportunity is called phone closing. And this is going to be for you if you do really like talking to people. So if you are very extroverted, you really get along with people and you like talking to people, especially face to face, high ticket phone closing is a model where you actually sell the product for an influencer. So for example, if there's an influencer that has a course on how to start an agency, and let's say they charge $5,000 for that course. Now what you do for that offer is actually take the sales call and you would directly sell the offer. Now the cool thing about this is a high ticket phone closer typically makes 10% commission, which would be $500. That's $500 for 1 hour of your time, which is definitely a good way to get to $10,000 a month. Now opportunity number 9 is my personal favorite out of all of these 9 that you currently see on the screen, because it is actually a combination of copywriting and closing, and it's called remote setting. Now using the same example of that influencer that sells a $5,000 product, what you do as a remote setter is you actually book the phone call, because you have to keep in mind that most of these influencers that sell online coaching and courses, the way they grow their business is they need more phone calls. And so yes, while there's a phone closer that actually sells the product, what the appointment setter does is actually message prospects on platforms like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, inside the DMs, has conversation, and then all they do is follow a script and use their emotional intelligence to book the phone call. And then what they do is every single time a phone call books and then the phone closer closes the deal, the remote setter actually ends up making typically 4 or 5% of the deal. And so yeah, you're not going to make 10% commissions like a closer would, but here's the cool thing. 4% on a $5,000 product is still $200. All of a sudden, if you do that for a few hours a day over the course of a month, remote setting can get you to 5, 7, and if you're really, really good, your first $10,000 a month. Now, with all that being said, I've only been able to put about a minute or two into every single one of these opportunities that you currently see on the screen. And so I would strongly suggest you to go ahead and watch the Opportunity Codex video. I'll leave it as the first link in the description, where I go through the top 5, 6 most popular business opportunities, as well as the pros and cons of each one and which one you should be doing based off your skill set if you're a very beginner and just getting started versus you're pretty advanced. So again, go ahead and click that link below and watch the video when you're done with this one. And look, at the end of the day, every single one of these business models works. And I have friends that make $10,000 a month or more in every single one of these opportunities. But the thing I want you to write down right now is that information without implementation is absolutely meaningless. If you don't take action and after this video you go watch porn, you go watch social media, you don't even implement on the things that I'm trying to mentor you on, then how do you plan on getting to your first $10,000 a month? The thing that personally motivated me 4 years ago when I was that university student just complete dead broke is I would think about all the impact and all the lives that could be changed because of the impact that I could have on others once I did make it. So remember that I'm rooting for you and that you can 100% do this. If you got value out of this video, feel free to hit that subscribe button and drop a like. I would really really help the channel. Before you go, check out this video right over here because I know you're gonna absolutely love it. It's gonna walk you through the best business model for you to start if you are a complete beginner this year. Remember, how you do one thing is how you do everything. I'll see you in that video over there.